look familiar? Scenes like these are happening all over the galaxy right now. You could be next. That is, unless you make the most important decision of your life.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
Huh? Me? Just hanging around.
Oh, my lens cap's still on. I was like, wait, the video's all of a sudden not working? What are we doing? What's happening? Yeah, is my music coming through? I don't think so. There's the music. We'll keep it turned down. We'll keep things chill around here. How's it going, everybody? It's been a minute since I streamed. We were busy getting episode 2 knocked out. What's up, Mad Dog? Our Lord of Cheese in the chat. We have some guy spouting some tyrannical stuff. Hey, Alexander. Good to see you. Good to see you. Zalesville, is that your name? Good to see you here. Chubube is here. That's right. We are on Chubube. Yeah, MG, this is, the next one is Viper and Python Commandos. Hey, Ghosty, we're working on the next episode already. I'm eager to see it. Yeah, working on, first of all, thank you so much for the donation. Yeah, we're working on episode 3. We're actually working on episode 3, 4, and 5. So we have a pretty good handle on our system now, which feels pretty good. And so we have the 3, 4, and 5 currently in the works. So that feels pretty good. 3, I started like working on the models a little bit ago. That's what we're going to do tonight, is set up one of the character models. So it's going to be a pretty light stream. But I'm also doing some cinematic stuff for the Save the Children charity event. So we're working on a cinematic for that we'll kind of go out and we'll do a stream during that charity event. And we're planning on doing a Plot Coalition specific giveaway for people who participate in the charity. So be on the lookout for that. But tonight we're diving in. Oh, I also wanted to mention for King Dino members who are watching or who watch this later, I'm also preparing another tutorial. I've been getting a lot of questions about like how I get stuff from Unreal Engine into DaVinci Resolve and then do visual effects and stuff like that. And it's been something that I've been putting off for a little bit because my VFX workflow has changed to where I'm doing a lot more in Engine, and it feels really, really good to do visual effects in Unreal Engine. So it's still a bit of a combo where I do some of it in Engine, some of it in DaVinci Resolve. So I'm preparing a tutorial that goes over the whole slew of it. But should have let the Predator handshake until this episode. Yeah, but the 80s, the dap up, it's so cop campy. And this is I've been getting a lot of like people being like, this is so totally different than the first episode. It's an anthology series. They're all going to be a little bit different in their own way. Episode 1 was a lot more like philosophical, like humanity focused. Episode 2, obviously buddy cop comedy. Episode 3 is definitely more like badass. Episode 4, it leans more into like the horror stealth aspects. I explained it. Somebody asked earlier on Discord, and I said, imagine like the movie Annihilation meets Metro Exodus. It's like the way that I explained it. And then episode 5 is like way more like adventurous, kind of like Mandalorian-esque. Episode 6 is going to be like very dark. It's funny because the ones that I'm writing are like the most like and then episode 7 is like, it's kind of a hybrid. It's really weird to explain, but we have a very interesting concept for it. That's the Freedom's Flame and Chemical Agents one. So we have a pretty interesting idea for that. That's kind of like a hybrid of just like, it's pretty out there. It's got a pretty wild cast of characters, but it's also like more horror-esque. And then the last one, the Steel Veterans and Democratic Detonation, is kind of like what episode 3 is going to be, where it's more of the badass, you know, like kind of showing the Helldivers moving more tactically. The Truth Enforcer episode is going to be some kind of Spec Ops the Line stuff. Kind of. I've been saying my goal when I write the Truth Enforcers episode is to make the face the wall meme not funny. Why do they have to be so short? They're so good. They take a lot to make. And episode 2 was supposed to be the shortest one, and it ended up longer than episode 1. So we're dialing it back with episode 3. We've got a few things that we're figuring out for it. You know, hey, thank you guys. Thank you for being members for so long. That's awesome. Would I do a season 2 if it was successful? 100%. The big thing right now is we're still just doing this in our spare time. Like, you know, thanks to our members and our Patreon supporters, we can do it with a little bit of a budget, but like it doesn't deplete because we're pretty good at budgeting it, but like it's nobody is able to do this in a full-time capacity. So like even with what I do, if I didn't budget anything towards anything else, I would still be making like maybe like probably like $2 an hour if I did the math. So it's not exactly sustainable yet, but we're working to get stuff there. But all of our supporters definitely make it possible. Hey, what's up, Ben? Good to see you. But yeah, so we'll get right into this. Oh, what I was gonna say about episode 3. We're working out a few logistical things to get it into production quicker and stuff. One of those things being there's like this really awesome like pre-set up environment in like a jungle made by Epic Games. They made it for a showcase of a few of their tools. So we're going to use that to help speed up production, just because it's like we just need something that has a ton of dense foliage. So it's like might as well use something that's already built in that way. And then we're working on getting the script wrapped up by Monday. So we've already gone through and we've revised it a couple of times, but by Monday we're planning on having it to a point where we can fully fledged production in that direction. And I'm already starting, production. Like tonight we're setting up another character model, and then we'll work on some other stuff too. But we're also doing that Save the Children stuff. We'll be like Vietnam type, kind of. Imagine more Rambo, more Rambo. Guy takes on the entire jungle, kind of thing. All right, let's see here. Switch over this and we'll start working on this. So this is AccuRig. This is what I pre-rig the characters in. Oh no, error occurred. No. How did Blender fail me? I sometimes find that if I do it in the like non-layout view, maybe I need to. I kind of hate the way these rigs come in. Let's see. This is great if like you animate in Blender, but I don't use any of it, so I literally go into Blender to like pull the character models out from the Helldivers archive, but I don't use any of this. I think this is technically on the cape now, but I'm just going to disable it all anyway. Bye-bye. All right. Oh, this one's still up, so that one I can turn off. And then it must be... That's our guy. Or at least it should be. Let's try exporting this again. Oh yeah, because this one has the actual bones in it. So I must have exported the wrong one. Actually, you know what? While I'm in here... Nah, I won't do it right here. We'll try this again. This time we will hit this. Love the talks between characters. They're so funny. That is in large part to Kevin Lauer, who wrote the episode, and all the actors who did an incredible job bringing the characters to life. There we go. This worked. Force symmetry. Rig body. Hey, just got here in the stream. What are you up to? We are setting up models for episode 3. So we already had the main character pre-built. We started on him a little while ago. And now we're working through the process of setting him up for some of the other characters. So this is AccuRig. This is what I use. A lot of people tend to use Mixamo. I like AccuRig better because it plays better with Unreal Engine. And Mixamo gives you like some wonky results. Mixamo is like Adobe's version of this. And while it's serviceable and it'll do the job most of the time for you, this is just, it's more accurate and it gives you more options for exporting. This guy's kind of tough because all his stuff is kind of hidden. That looks about right. This doesn't need to be perfect because I literally get rid of this entire rig and we put it into MetaHuman here in a bit. You should make it an OC. Hey, Cobra Fang. Good to see you here. Your mod stuff is sick. The stuff you posted in the art channel. I used to be like really into modding when I was younger. Especially with like Flash games. Like I know that's not as nearly as in depth as some things, but I used to be like so into like they would come in, like everything would be like keyed on like a magenta background, and then like go in and like paint in your own characters and stuff. I used to love doing that. Which is funny because like I fell out of all of that for a really long time just to focus on my regular like movie film career, video jobs, and now I've inadvertently fallen back into it by doing it this way. Christian Chale and Jane Dawson in action. Yeah, there's probably not going to be as much celebrity renames. The Mason Jamoa thing was too perfect not to do, and then after like it's so funny that we did it, and then that news came out that like he's exited the film. That could just mean they're done shooting with him, by the way. That could just be it. Like, they just needed him to do whatever. Maybe he is only on screen for a couple minutes. He's not allowed to say, so we'll either know when the movie comes out or we'll never know. Because he'll, like, if it was something bad, like falling out wise, he's never going to talk about it. He just doesn't care. But if he was in the movie and that was it, yeah, that could be why. But this looks pretty good. Like I said, we'll be re-weight painting all of this anyways. So that looks good. But it was so funny that like they announced him and I was like, I'm gonna name a character Mason Jamoa. And I did it, and then as soon as we put the episode out, he like was gone. It was the same thing like we put For Liberty out, and then they were like, the Helldivers movie director has been announced. This auto rig is cool. I'm definitely gonna give it a try on my custom models. Yeah, AccuRig is fantastic. It's completely free. It's an iClone tool that's not in iClone, so it's made by Reallusion. But it's just a free. You take it, you can rig them, and then like here I can export it as a Unreal skeleton and have it set up. So go in here. Can I make the model hit a 6-7? I could try. Hey, thank you, Roman. I appreciate that. I saw somebody else had a question. Oh, sick. Just one small ask. Will there be Metal Gear references with the RS-20 armor? The one with the red bandana and the one I cover. That is up to the writer for this episode. So this one's being written by Luke Ryan. He's a fantastic writer. He has a few books out. And he's always helped with productions and stuff. Which project am I going to? Oh, I remember. I need to come out of here. Yeah, he's writing this episode. And it's coming along great. The big thing right now is just getting it to the right time. That's cool, Cobra. I'll definitely keep that in mind. Yeah, we usually put out when we're looking to recruit new people. That usually goes out on the Discord, the same place that the casting does. Um, and then like, you know, if you have like a portfolio or something you want to send me, I've definitely had animators do that before too. Where we've onboarded them that way. Well, I just checked the fridge and I'm out of cheese. Do you have any I can borrow? No, Mad Dog out of cheese. That's like the earth running out of water. Big sad. I have some cheese in my fridge. I'm pretty sure it's just like pretty cheap cheese. I have kids, so can't do anything too fancy. This is the Viper, the Predator armor. Already set up in metahuman, so it's got like a metahuman body with this as the clothing, so we'll be doing the same for the next guy. But we are going to put it in a newer set of materials. I brought in the material setup from the previous guy, so we'll be doing that as well. All right. So this is, what is this guy's armor's name? I already blanked on it. RS-40 Beast of Prey. RS-40 Beast of Prey. Textures. Materials. Metahuman. Clothing. And like a working folder. I mean, the episode has the Hellbound Predator movie ending. That would be insane. That would be pretty insane. No, we have some pretty cool. We have a pretty cool ending in mind. I'm very excited for this episode. I'm very excited for all of them. It's funny because like as soon as we start working on one, like I'm like super hyped for that one, like leading up all into it, and then we start talking about the ideas for the other ones. It's like, ooh. And it's funny because we've gone through it like twice now with the first two episodes, and like both of those same thing. I was super hyped going into it, and obviously like really loved the way it came out, but like the whole time as we're talking about like the next episodes, it just gets me more and more hyped. I do really like being able to put these out relatively quick and just have it be like out the door, like done in a span of a few weeks. There it is, it's out there, launch it, you know, it does whatever, but then move on to the next one. That is like creatively super freeing, because when we were working on For Liberty, like it was just like end over end working on you know, making it the film that it is, and I'm really happy with it. Hey, that guy imported at the right scale. Let's go. Let's import his textures. Oh wait, wrong folder. Here we go. Oh yeah, Froster. The news system that we have for like the textures and everything. So we use Substrate now, which like this is the outdated Substrate material. I'll show you what it looks like on the new one. Let's see here. First thing I got to do. So this is the one that I had set up for episode 2, and then like I'll kind of like tweak it and, you know, adjust it however I need for each episode. But it also makes it easier to kind of know where it's at. So I'll take this. What is save? So this is the new material, which is pretty cool. But it uses substrate, so that means we can actually like physically stack things like imperfections and whatnot. I'm gonna go ahead and I like to start with the helmet, like inside the master material, and then everything else is just a material instance of that. So I usually do this. I get like one thing looking really, really good, the way that I kind of want the rest of the armor to look, and then build off of that. Oh, did I just pass a... I just also did the metallic in there. And you know what I might do in this one? But yeah, we can layer in like a bunch more textures and stuff, and like different material functions and whatnot, and they all kind of stack and end up in here. But what I might do for this one is what is it called? Substrate. This is a new node that I've been using. IOR. Metalness to diffuse F0. So this one's pretty cool. It basically just uses the... Like, it takes both the metallic and the base color, and it uses that to inform itself. But I can also still control like the amount of metallic. So it looks like a big old chrome ball right now, but we'll fix that here in a minute. And then which slab are the glints going into? Hold it. Wait a minute. Or are those coming out of a slab over here? I need to enlarge this. Let me look real quick. Sorry to go, but I've got to head out. Leave on demand. Have a great stream and the great rest of your day. Hey, thank you, David. I'm a Blender user. I know UE5 is better at handling the big stuff, but I'm wondering if you have any tips that would cross over, and any tips on handling scenes and image textures. My PC, it's pretty bogged down. Big scenes put together. So I think like Lumen and Nanite definitely help. Unreal Engine, don't get me wrong, has its issues. It's got problems, believe me. Looks like the glints got disconnected. Apologies. That, I don't think that connects up here, but we can... Yeah, no. Where do those pop out? Second glint, first glint, metallic base. Does that plug in up here? Nah, I didn't think so. But yeah, as far as handling the big scenes, really like... When it comes down, oh, coverage. Yeah, I think like the big thing you probably want to look for is just like, I think focus on like what's in your immediate area and like fill that out for your scene and make that like appear to be dense, but then kind of look for a like cutoff like horizon line. Like, so like for example, if like back here where this like bookshelf is, if I like drew like a straight line like across there, like have like a wall or something, or like a half-foot wall or something, and then made everything else like near the camera really detailed, like you can kind of cheapen out the stuff in the background. So I think like part of it is just like kind of figuring out where you want the camera and everything first, and then you know, building out from that. There is like, you know, like with the level and stuff that we're using, that's kind of built out by Epic Games. Like you can kind of go anywhere and it looks phenomenal. They're using the PCG and nanite combined, and it looks really, really cool. But like, you know, if your computer can't handle it, like don't force it to, and don't be afraid to like use like just, you know, projected textures like on a cube for like a building or something. Like that'll definitely help with performance. Which episode is Servants of Freedom gonna be? That's in the Truth Enforcers episode. Okay, I'm gonna apply this. I'm working on some Starship Troopers and Terminids for a bud. Got Warriors, Shriekers, and Hunters done. Doing Commanders right now. Nice. That's super cool. Starship Troopers is pretty incredible. Alright, so this is what we'll do. We'll create a material instance. And I'll just call this MI RS 40 Beast of Prey. I put in like that. I kind of wish it wouldn't automatically do this, but it does. So it's like whatever, but it's how, like when you duplicate the name, it'll automatically do this. All right, so let's get this guy, pop this guy open, and start getting his textures figured out. So we'll start with his helmet since we made the material for that. There we go. It's way too shiny right now, but we're gonna work on dialing this in. Just gonna enable some of my go-to settings. There we go. It's so funny because every time I pull this this material back up, I'm like, wait a second, what was I doing with that? I will say I have been having problems. I kind of like set up this like blood system, but it keeps breaking. So I haven't been able to use it as much as I want to. But all right, so this is where we get into the This is some of the stuff from the automotive sample pack. Sorry, I am like falling asleep over here. And yes, Mad Dog has his after party stream in the Discord, which is always a fun time. Which I might jump in and jump on some games. I have some stuff I need to finish up after stream. We can definitely see about that. But one thing I was going to mention when it comes to this side of things, with episode 2, kind of like the look that I was going for, and something that I liked about the way that I went into it on episode 2 was like, I kind of treated, because it was like 80s action cop, you know, style movie. I wanted to make like all the armor kind of feel like a race car. So that was like my main goal with it. All right, this is like, there is a setting that is definitely off. I'm trying to remember which one it is. There's one of these, it always makes it like, oh, I think I know what it is. Oh, you want to know what it might be? It's because I'm doing the... I know what it is. It's because I'm doing that route of the metallic to F0. So it's probably boosting the metallic and the albedo up. So I wonder if I maybe just bump this up just a hair. Maybe turn the brightness down, and then we'll bring the metallic down even more, because basically it takes those two nodes, it takes the metallic input and the diffuse input, and it basically like blends them together, which it gives, like, when the light actually hits it, it makes it feel more like paint, I suppose is the best way to put it, but it is like kind of over brighten it. I wonder if I just turn the... Where'd the specular go? Ah, there we go. Base specular. It didn't really change much. Now it should look a little bit better. We can jump back and see. I don't know why the saves are taking so long. That's a little weird. We're definitely still too metallic. Too Metallica! I turned that off. That's a little, but not enough. Let's see if we can find the real culprit. It's like an episode of Scooby-Doo. Definitely need to turn down that overlay. It's also like you can see where it like kind of mirrors itself. What's coming through? Something's causing like this to come through as white, and I'm not sure why. This is also stuff that I can go in and dial in at another time. It's definitely starting to take shape. What's nice is after you kind of do this stage, then it's just like, okay, now you just do that over and over. Or like you just take that same instance and duplicate it once you kind of like the way that it's looking. I know bumping up the saturation definitely helped, but I think that's too much. Oh, somebody deleted their message. You're streaming in the Discord, just somebody's chilling while I'm on. Nice. It's always a good time to chill with your friends. I feel like that's not going to affect that much here. I feel like that's enough of a starting point, so we can keep cruising. All right, so what's next? Shoulder pads. Or pauldrons, if you're across the pond. The only reason I don't name it that is because I always spell it wrong. I tried for a while, and I was like, I keep spelling this wrong. I'm just gonna write shoulders. I'm not too good at the spelling, mama. Those look pretty decent. These scratches are still definitely a bit much. Like which is supposed to be coming in with color, so there had to have been something that broke. That at least helps it not tile. We'll go with that for now. It could also just be the editor in here. It's the like changing the exposure too fast. What's this? I'm going to assume I have something called pouch. Or is that just going to be accessories and then everything's going to use this accessories? I do need to fix... I keep getting mad at myself for not doing it. But fixing where the... like where some of these land. Because they're all supposed to be like in the right category. And then like some of them aren't. And then I'm like, oh, I need to fix that. And then I don't. That does not look correct. Are there more accessories somewhere? Arms, torso, legs. Okay, so that's definitely the right texture for this. It's a little shiny, but... So what in the heck is this guy? Oh, it's probably... Boots. Boots and pants and boots and pants. Oh, I spelt pouch incorrectly. I forgot the O, that's why. When I was baking me textures. Oh, wait. So we want to take this one. We'll just call it pouch 2. This will be pouch 2. We'll look for pooch. We need the pooch. Actually, let's turn this top coat off because there's no paint on like there aren't like layers of paint on a cloth bag. There we go. That should have fixed it. Yep. We have a pooch. Alright. I guess this next one's arms or shirt or something, which I suppose again... Started on the episode already? Yeah. We got several episodes in the works right now. So we are a little bit behind. Production schedule-wise compared to what we wanted to be. I forgot I only baked out one thing for this because I got confused by the way it was doing it. But yeah, and like, you know, we just wanted to make sure that things were still moving. Moving and grooving the way that we wanted them to. So got the 0 metallic. I wonder. I'm just gonna set this to 0 for now. Because it's just on the shirt and let's see what we're looking at. What's our unofficial schedule for production? So episode 2 was supposed to come out basically a month before it did. We've had some other stuff going on that kind of slowed production just a little bit. But now we're tracking to be back back where we want to be. So it's looking pretty good. The goal is basically to have all the episodes out by the end of the year. Which, like, there was a ton of pre-production and stuff leading into episode 1. But now that we have, like, we've had several things rolling that, like, are no longer factors in future episodes, which helps speed them up. Since a lot of it was building out our systems and stuff that we are using, which so far have been working really great, which I've mentioned it before, but it is very much so a relief to, like, have had an idea of what I wanted for or, like, by the time For Liberty was done, of, like, okay, if I could go back and redo it, this is how I would do it. And seeing that now working feels pretty good. That is a good feeling, I'm not gonna lie. But, yeah, with this episode, like, I would like to have it out. I'd say, like, ideally, like, if I could get this one done in, like, 5-ish weeks, we'd still be behind schedule, but it would help speed things up significantly. And we're working on a few things just to free up my schedule a little bit more, but that's all kind of up in the air right now. But ideally, if that does work out, then, you know, we could rock and roll and I could focus on this a lot more. But right now I still just have, you know, my regular 9 to 5 and everything. So you know, I've kind of said since, like, we kind of, like, ended the fundraiser side of it, it's been, you know, like, all right, we know, like, you know, what our capacity is, and now it's like, if we, like, need to postpone things, we'll postpone things, because, like, you know, we just can't do this in a full-time capacity with where we're currently at. But if that changes, hooray. I'd love for it to change, but for now, I'm still doing it purely for the love of the game, for the love of bringing people together to make something cool, and it's really awesome just to have a team of people who are also, like, way down for that. People who just, like, you know, kind of, like, see the vision of it. It's very humbling. It'll make me emotional if I talk about it too long. There's our pants. Yippee! Leg armor. All right. Have you thought about asking for team to work on some aspects of the future episodes? Yep, that's already what we're doing. We're already in that ballpark. A good example of that is actually the motorcycle. Because the person who worked on that has a busy life too. But at SM, they had applied to do stuff for episode 1 for like 3D modeling and stuff. and I was like, hey, like, I know you're busy. I think we'll be set for episode 1, but do you want to start working on the bike for episode 2? And they were down and got them involved, and they took the time that they needed to absolutely crush it. So that's something we were working on for a few months leading up to the release. And then, you know, like, now that's out and we're moving on to the next thing. So that's like, you know, when we're talking about working on the other episodes currently, you know, we're working mainly on writing and development. But, like, you know, I could certainly like get a number of things started, but it's also like until like I can fully put some brain power into it, because once again, like, we're all doing this entirely in our free time right now, and so, like, you know, I'd rather have everybody focused on a singular vision that I can kind of like unite them under, rather than like almost leave somebody stranded to develop something that is like, okay, now we're just not going to touch that for months, you know. So that's like that's another aspect of it, is like there's a lot more team unity, and people get way more hyped on just seeing, like, you know, like, you know, even if something is difficult or takes a minute, like being able to see it take its full form in a very short period of time. Was that both Vambraces? Oh, it was. Okay. But like being able to see that and win with that all at the same time, like, is another positive just for the team morale and everything. And while we're, you know, doing this in the capacity that we are, that's just kind of like, you know, it is what we have to do. And like, I'm also just getting used to like the whole process of working with people that want to do this alongside of me, because again, this is like, I might get emotional talking about it, but like for so long I was doing this all by myself, and like people would come in for like certain roles sometimes, and like they'd help out, and it was great, and I always greatly appreciated and whatnot. But then it's like, then it would just be back to me, just like, you know, doing whatever. And so when I did like the Titanfall series, like it was a lot of that, like a lot of team camaraderie with the cast, and then it was just like a lot of me just like, okay, I'm gonna go animate. And like there are other aspects too now where it's like, you know, people work on a handful of things, but just overall being able to get things to a place now where we're like, you know, able to juggle a couple of things at the same time and kind of like work on the next episode while we're in the current one, but then also just like having people rally together to get like an episode done. It's just super cool. I promise we're almost done looking at these materials. Start working on the model here in a second. Goodness, you guys did get me choked up. This one I feel like, let's see, where's that? Overlay. I don't know why it's not like tinting the way that it should. It's very odd. What has anything to do with this one? I don't think so. It's looking pretty cool. Alright, what we got left? The neck. Which is that just the... shirt? And that looks kind of correct. I'ma just leave it. And then the boots. Little boots. We'll do this pouch material again. There we go. We got the character in color. Woo-hoo. Alright, so now we'll create a modular rig for the guy. Actually, Theorycraft. Let me delete that. In theory, I can duplicate this rig and swap out the mesh. That copied the entire file path. Let's try this out. So we have this. This is the rig from when I did the tutorial for this. But in theory, I can click that. Hey, let's go. This is the stuff about Unreal Engine that's like sick when it works. My goodness. Didn't have to rig that guy. That's stuff like that is always super nice. Again, that is a when it's working, it's working. When it's not working, it ain't working. But when it is, let's do a basic level. And we'll save that into alright, then we gotta create the metahuman base. This is something that I've learned about this. So all the Helldivers are roughly 190 centimeters tall. So if you punch that in on a metahuman, it lines up pretty good. And it saves time in the resizing of the outfit. So I create a metahuman character right now. Let's call it V1. Now, I suppose the other thing I'm in debate about is like, do I even want to bother cutting out these sections for the arms and make those metahuman? Or do I just like leave it as the model and get it on a metahuman body? Because not having to do the cutout would save time. So here, I'll just type in 190. Save. And export. There's a body. And we don't need to export the head because he's... Yeah, I mean, he has, like, the Predator uniform has, like, the neck and stuff is cut out, too. But this one, it's just the arms. And, like, this guy I don't think is ever going to be, like... I don't think there's ever going to be a close-up so close on his arms that you're going to be like, look at those vertices! He needs metahuman arms. At least based off the scripts that I've read so far. So I think we're pretty good there. This is basically like where we see, you know, how these characters line up, and then we basically start creating a clothing asset out of the bodies. Yurt, skirt. Get to the chopper. Without spoiling too much, there's not an exact like that. So here's kind of where I stand with a lot of like movie quotes is like, I do think they're fun to do, but there is a level of which it's like they can be a little bit lazy. The only one that like I really specifically did in like episode 2 was we had the thanks for dropping by, which is like a reference to Kung Fury when he's like, thank you. But for the most part, it's like we look for ways to like, you know, how can we rewrite it as like our own thing. So for example, goodness, in episode 2 we were in a meeting going over the script and talking about what to do, and so when the cutting edge people show up in the tank and they're like, looks like this fish is out of the tank, it's like we were just thinking like what is like a bad Arnold Schwarzenegger style quote that like we could come up with our own version of. What would that be? And because it's like the Illuminate, the squids, there's like an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie where he like shoots an alligator and he's like no, your luggage or something like that. And that was a terrible Arnold Schwarzenegger, but that's like the gist, and it's like so dumb, and it's like, you know, it's like that loosely makes sense, but like also doesn't at the same time. And we were like, what's a joke like that we could write? And looks like this fish is out of the tank is the one we came up with, and it was legit off the cuff. Like me and Kevin were talking about it. I was like, yeah, there's probably some sort of like dumb joke we can throw in here, like, you know, what if they're like, like, you know, like, looks like this fish is out of the tank or something like that, and that became like the joke. So whenever we can, like, rather than doing the exact quote from a movie, we want to capture the vibe of it but still make it our own thing. That's what I'm saying. The one-liners, the quips, like it works so well. Where's this guy's eyes? Actually, the eyes do line up with the eye holes. That's kind of like what I always want to make sure is like, do the eyes actually see out of the visor? If so, mission accomplished. It's also just like way more fun to write that way, but then it's also like, you know, like I'm a huge I'm a huge fan of like if actors have something where they're like, you know, like, oh, I think my character would say this way, and I'm like, I am generally the kind of the director that's like, if that is what you think and you're playing the character and you're bringing the character to life, then like your version of that voice is going to be a million times better than like something just singularly coming from me. That was something that I really loved on New Frontiers when I was working on that show, was like, you know, there were so many times where the actors would be like, I like, you know, I'm voicing this character. The big one was like Gila, the woman who voiced her was Kay Boone, and like she was just constantly like, you know, like I've been really thinking about like the way she would say this or do this, and like I think it would be this way, and but you have it written this way, like what do you think? And like as long as the context remains the same, like I want them to be able to take it. So in episode 2, there is so much that the actors improvised or like threw out there as, you know, spitballing ideas. The ones that come to mind immediately are when Carl Suburban is like, he's getting up off the ground after him and Christy were knocked off the bike, and he's like, I'm gonna go give that guy a ticket. Like that wasn't in the script. When Butch says they're like running away, and he's like, it's not a retreat, it's a tactical repositioning. You know, that was something that wasn't in the script. Their exchange, like when Carl Suburban dies, that wasn't in the script. The guy who plays V-Set, like the mad scientist kind of guy, you know, when he says like these things require, you know, disabling with gentle finger touch, not destroying like monkey with hammer. Like that was him. Just in like the recording booth, he was like, oh, I have this idea, can I try it? And I was like, yeah, dude, go for it. So there's like plenty of stuff like that where I'd much rather have them bring those, because that's what makes the characters actually feel alive and unique. You know, same thing with like when V2 dies, like she wasn't gonna make any noise, and even the line once again that the V-Set, the prototype 16 guy says, what he says, you know, like turns, like the joke was just like, turns out you're not supposed to touch those monoliths, but then he was like, but to science that requires sacrifice, and it's like, that's like perfect. Like he brought that character to life. So a lot of the best jokes are due to that. Oh snap. Oh. Checking something real quick. Hey, thanks, nerd. Thanks for the compliment on my shirt, you nerd. Calls me a nerd, uses FL Studio. Who do you think you are? JK. Carson Music's in the chat, everybody. Carson is a real OG. Since you do original models like the Hammer Bikes in episode 2, kick ass by the way, maybe we get to see a different breed of stalker that literally looks like a Predator's cloaking style. Or maybe not. That's an interesting question. So we definitely, yeah, we will do custom models. The thing with custom models is like, it kind of depends on like what size they are, because like even like little ones can take a while to do right. Yeah, we put anytime we build something custom, we want to put like a lot of love and care into it. So like in episode 1, for example, like the pendant that Lucas is holding throughout it, like we really wanted to make sure that that was like right, and that felt like, you know, like we wanted it to feel religious, like, because that's kind of like where it comes from, but it's like it also has to feel like Helldivers, like it came from Super Earth and stuff, and like we go into like a ton of detail to make sure we get that kind of stuff right. And you know, it definitely takes a while. So when it comes to like certain enemy types, it's definitely something that we're like open to doing. It just kind of depends on where we're at and what the needs of the episode are. And then like I have to evaluate like what is worth people's time. So like, you know, for example, in episode 2, like one of the other models was going to be I was going to have one of the modeling artists do the bomb that's on the guy's chest. But then I was like, this is visible in one shot. That's not worth it when I can just like, you know, like kind of hack a few things together and make it passable. And so I decided to do that instead. And then like when it comes to like certain enemy types, like we could definitely like see about like, you know, if we want to add an element with a stalker and, you know, give it like Predator style camouflage, like that's something that we've definitely done before. And just like how do we make this work in Unreal Engine, because one of the things that we don't get is like the effects from the game. We just have like the models and stuff. So when we recreate effects, like we're kind of doing that from scratch. So like with like, you know, a stalker cloaking itself, that would be an example of one such thing. Hey, we got Butch, otherwise known as Clifton Richards, in the chat right now, my man. Thank you for dropping by. I love when people improv. Like I was saying, I think that is like the thing that brings characters to life. Because like no matter like who the writer is, like if the writing of a character is coming from just one perspective, and there are a lot of characters, then like it's never gonna be as good as if you have each of those actors or characters come up with that. So I should be thanking you, my man. You absolutely crushed it. All right, I need to go downstairs and check on something real quick. So you guys hang tight. We just about got this guy posed up. So once we have this in position, we'll prep him to turn him into clothing. Yippee! I'll be right back. Shibuya! I'm back. Yes, praise be the chair. And the cute dog. Where was the cute dog? Did he walk by? One of my wife's medical devices just started going ballistic. So I wanted to make sure it wasn't one that she was wearing. It wasn't. We're good. It was an old one. It was like in the cabinet. Freaking out. I am back. The chair couldn't take my place forever. Alright. We'll export that as an animation. Delete that. Drop that on. And convert this bad boy into a static mesh. Ugh. Cool. Just gonna copy that name. And we'll convert him into a skeleton mesh. And convert. And transfer del weights. And now this guy is a metahuman skeleton. He's got problems, but we'll fix those here in a little bit. I have found that it is not worth it to bother fixing them right now in this current stage. Because they'll just, like, when you pass everything through the metahuman pipeline to make it like an outfit and give it a body and whatnot. To be fair, I could just use this like as is, but I like having the resizable body outfit stuff and being able to pass it through that pipeline. So I leave it. I leave it as is, and then I reweight paint it after it passes through that. So we'll go through and start creating some clothing. Whoops. We'll let this solve. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Got a good chunk of people out in here. When recording lines, are the actors alone with you, or are they all recording their lines together? We've done it a few different ways. sometimes we'll do it like having everybody together. Some actors, it really depends on the actor's preference, honestly. But like the main thing that I try to make sure happens is just doing a read through with the cast, or as much as the cast as we can get, just so everybody kind of gets like the vibe and moving through it, and we talk through a number of different things. But then like, you know, depending on what the actor's needs are, sometimes we do it all together. Sometimes they record on their own. Sometimes I hop on a call with them. It just kind of depends on what the person's preference is. There are some folks where like I swear they don't even know that like the episodes come out. Some people, they're like super involved and then they do their part, and then I'm sure life gets busy and whatnot, and they probably come back and they're like, wait, what? It came out. That's out now. Yeah, the read-throughs are always super fun. I love doing those. Goodness, now I'm sleepy. What time is it? It's already 11. Jeez. Alright. Let's blitz this. Bam. We have clothing for our metahuman. Let's jump in. Hey, what's up, Nameless Whirl? Good to see ya. All right. Let's go ahead and get homeboy set up. So we're really just worried about like shaping the body real quick. We're gonna go for, maybe he's 193 centimeters. And we're just gonna go as thick as we can make him. Reasonably. You know, can't be going too crazy, but a little crazy is okay. Something, you know, we'll go something like it's always funny when you do this, but then make them super short. That's always a funny look. We'll make him appropriately tall. All right. And now we can just go in here and we add our clothing. Oh, I dropped that. Okay. I dropped it into the wrong section, but it's okay. It didn't load anything. And there's our guy. He is a beefcake. Oh, he is beefy. He is one beefy guy. Maybe make him like slightly taller, and we'll actually, you know what, I'll try. We'll just try resetting the body real fast. You can watch it pop back down. So that's like actual size. This is like the default metahuman settings now. But then we'll bump this up. We'll go 193. We'll go for the more muscular build, but we won't go too crazy on the arms and stuff this time. I think that's a better look. Yeah, with the big freaking gun. That's what I'm saying. The other thing, like, you have to be mindful of too is making sure that, like, you know, certain items aren't getting too distorted. Like, you don't want, like, the screen and stuff looking too whack. This is already looking kind of whack. But we'll see about fixing some of that. But, I mean, that feels pretty decent. We will create a rig and see what problems we need to fix next. So now we sit here and wait and hope stream doesn't crash. Oh dang, that actually went pretty fast. Usually doing the joints only rig does pretty good. And that's basically just like, you don't need all the muscle deformation. You don't need all the, like, obviously we don't need all the joints in the face. But now we should be able to. Holy moly. What? What is broken? I have never seen this before. Ew, something doesn't feel too good. Oh, what? That's looking crazy. Oh no! I know what happened. I know what happened. We didn't do the metahuman setup. We imported the wrong guy. Embarrassing. That's so funny. Okay, so what I've learned from this is you just want to just do a quick, just double click through these and make sure they load all back down the chain. So that was using the original guy that we imported. So that's that. If it showcases Dead Space flashbacks, yeah. Now, if it showcases why the system needs to be set up properly, and this is like a prime reason why, is because it needs to be exactly like a metahuman skeleton set up in the exact way. Because basically what it was doing there was it was basically just making up where to place all the bones and stuff. So, and we'll just double check that that's correct here too. All right. Let's try reopening my man again. He might need to be re-rigged. Nope. He's good now. Okay. So now he's set up, and obviously we can already start to see the problems. There's this, like, he's dragging this along with him, which isn't supposed to really be a thing. And then I usually look at this body ROM. Tells me a lot of, like, okay, what's broken and needs to be fixed. So the thing on his back, obviously, parts of his helmet, his chest, but like the main things, like his arms and legs actually seem to be pretty good. So this is pretty standard stuff that I deal with. Cool. What's cool in here too is you can also, like, kind of look at them in under different lighting. I don't know why it's coming across like so dark right now. But yeah, there are definitely a few issues, but we can clean that up real fast. So, let's take Homeboy, and there's something brighter, so you can actually see it a little bit. Let's take Homeboy and start to fix him, clean him up. So basically what we're going to do is, the way this is set up now is it gets like the clothing on the character and it can be resized to whatever we need. So we made this guy pretty tall. We made him pretty beefy, and now we're gonna basically take this, tell it to export, and then we'll work on cleaning up his armor. This is what I have to do for every single character that is in the show, but it makes things run so smoothly. I forgot I gotta download textures. I should have made sure those were set to 2K, but whatever. Some of the guys from our Helldivers organization are interested in helping any way we can. Nice. Yeah, definitely be in the Discord and be on the lookout. Would be my suggestion. Actually gonna do this optimized because we don't even have metahuman parts. So basically what Unreal's going to do now is it's going to build the metahuman, all the blueprints, and it's also going to map this armor as clothing to that to have it work in the system. And then we'll clean it up. I don't know why, but sometimes the heavy armors have this like weird issue with some of the points, and it could just be like the way that the models are and then like importing them here. But like even with like the B01, like they look a lot cleaner than with some of these. But I've already done the Constrictor, the Predator, the Constrictor and the Predator, which like the film is going to be mainly focused on the Predator armor, and then the B01 armor too. There's some of that involved. But yeah, Nameless Whirl. I'm not sure what your like group does, but we definitely like collaborating with people and folks. So we collaborate a lot with the folks from Helldivers Central, which is like a cosplay group. They're all super cool, super chill. All right, let's save all this. All 178 unsaved things. Asking the obvious. Are you usually the only one on the team rigging and assembling the characters? Right now, yes, because of the system that it is in. So, which like, I've run the tutorial for it before, and like it's not anything like too crazy once you know how to do it. But sometimes like the assembling the metahuman and stuff, like if somebody has a lower end machine, sometimes it can cause issues. So it kind of all depends. But for the most part right now, yeah, like I tend to do it and then like give us all just like a good baseline to work off of. I know this looks insane right now, but this I cannot see that gizmo for the life of me. This is how we make sure the armor gets fixed. Basically looking for all of these problems. My arm. Hey, Jack of Nothingness. Good to see you. Good to see ya. Glad you can make it to the stream. Some parts are a little bit more obvious, so they're a little bit easier to do. Like the kneecaps. Like I know I'll obviously do the knee, but like look at our guy. This is. We are going to fix him. That they're being cloned? Nah, I don't think so. I think it's I think that's not grim enough. I think the clone theory doesn't make it as grim, and it takes away from the what do you call it? Narrative? Not necessarily narrative, but like the commentary, the social commentary of Helldivers. And it's like there's already so much media with clones and whatever. It's like, nah. There are so many humans that we need to populate other planets. I think that's that's what we're facing. I've never subscribed to the clone theory. But I think it's like, you know, like if you want to get into like the, what the heck? That definitely needs to be fixed. But get into like the weeds of it, it's like, you know. Oh, wait. I didn't want to grab all this stuff in the neck. Yeah, but like I think stuff like that, and I think this is where a lot of people get like Helldiver, like they try to tie too much to something that is like so obviously just a game mechanic. Like, yeah, of course you're gonna have the same equipment every time because players would get frustrated if they got a random loadout every time they dropped back in. You know? Know what I'm saying? Luke Meow with the $10. Work keeps going on. Do you still have your day job? And if so, what does your morning look like going to said job? So yes, I still have my day job. And it mainly looks like I work from home a lot to help take care of my family just because of some health things. So I work from home most of the day. And then, and sometimes I'll go into the office or, you know, do some other stuff. But I do like, you know, mostly like, or I don't know why I say mostly. It's like a lot of, it's middle management more or less. So I keep like projects and stuff moving. I'm basically a project manager at work. Project manager, supervisor, big chungus, you know? this guy. Almost got his head fixed up. Yeah, you know, the health things, they are what they are. It's just, it's a part of life, you know? Your contract says they're taking your equipment. It's dark because of the death toll could be even destroyed. Oh, you're still going on about the clone thing. I mean, if that's what you like, then cool. You like what you like. I just like to subscribe to the idea that they're all unique because, you know, Helldivers is supposed to be more or less a commentary on the military-industrial complex. And like for them to all be clones defeats the entire purpose, in my opinion. Which is like, you know, whatever you wanna like or think, that's totally up to you. I ain't got a problem with it. But if you're asking my opinion, I think the point is that it's supposed to be as grim as it is. And to wave that away with, like, you know, the theory about clones or whatever, that suddenly turns it into like oh well, it's that makes it like not as bad. You know. Because, like, who are they tricking, you know? Unless it's like, I don't know if anybody's ever seen the Ewan McGregor movie, Ewan McGregor, Scarlett Johansson, Michael Bay movie, The Island. But, like, that's basically, like, people are willingly getting cloned so that they have healthy body parts to harvest from. It's an interesting concept for a film. But, like, it's also, like, the only way that I've seen it where it's like, that, like, kind of makes sense. Like, where it's like the clones are literally the people that just, like, live in this, like, underground bunker until they can be harvested. A lot of coordination. Would you say you're a leader or a manager? Yeah. I'm a post-production supervisor. So that's what I do for my day job, and that's what I do for fun when I want to make my movies online. I clock out and clock back in, basically. But doing this is like what I like doing, and I think just with like just the state of my industry, you know, like I think we're like at a point where, like, if you can't adapt into, and like I know it's like that's what like a lot of the AI bros use. It's like, if you can't adapt, then you're gonna fall behind. Blah, blah, blah. It's like there is a level of which that's true, but I think it's misguided in a lot of those cases. Hey, congrats on chapter 2. You really outdid yourselves compared to the first episode. I can't wait for the chapter on the Truth Enforcers and Servants of Freedom. Me either. I'm very excited. And thank you. Thank you. That means a whole lot. Yeah, I supervise a department. So I oversee, like, on the post-production side of like a video company. Thank you. I appreciate that. This always like takes longer than I expect. I've gotten like way better at like identifying it though. It's a blessing and a curse. Not sure what that's really stuck to. I don't even know if it's going to be an issue, honestly. I'm mainly looking for like parts of the 3D model that is more or less like out of place. See you, Luke. Thanks for dropping by, and thank you for the 20 bucks. You're a real one. Luke is always super supportive of the channel. I really appreciate you, dude. I need a first AD to keep me on schedule. If we get to a point where we can do this more full time, that would 100% be part of a thing. I guess like just to like put it in some perspective, we are doing this in our free time, but even then, we're doing these productions faster than most animation houses who do it full time with full teams. And, you know, like it's not perfect, and we're very accepting of that because we are doing it in our free time and stuff. But like the systems we've built to make this show are kind of wild. Just how much faster it makes the process. So that's like one of the main things that I'm like, if I can like make it known, you know, what we're doing and what we've built. Like I do think there's a lot of potential in that. But it's still like truthfully like relatively undiscovered, which like I do find a little weird from like my perspective of like, how is nobody else doing or adopting a lot of these things? Especially like people who like claim to be into it. There's like a whole like community of folks online who are like, you know, they boast the praises of Unreal Engine, but they can really only do like a handful of tricks with it, and it's like, guys, you're like kind of missing the whole point. There's so much more that you can leverage, but a lot of times it's because they're stuck in old practices or something or other. It's like, if you like fully embrace it, like it gets kind of crazy. And like even I'm discovering that more and more as I'm working on stuff. So even with the schedule that we're on, like, it's crazy that we put out any of our projects, honestly. Like, New Frontiers was done in 19 months. The Red Dead Redemption short was done realistically in only a couple of weeks. Which that's still like one of my favorite films that I've done. But then, episode 1 was 7 weeks. Episode 2 was 9 weeks. And to do like a fully animated thing in that amount of time. I mean, like, I don't want to dog on somebody else's like creative or passion project, but like look at like, and obviously different style, different approach and everything, but like with like Invincible or One Punch Man or, like some of these shows that get criticized for their quality. It's like we're trying to redefine how that can be approached. And we're doing that at a speed that's kind of unheard of. So I'm really focused on making that as strong of a system on its own as possible. But as far as like, keeping it on schedule, the big thing like truly is like, because I still have a regular 9 to 5 and I can't do this full time and I have to do it on like nights and weekends. And like everybody else is at the same boat. Potentially with even less time. It's like, until that's not the case, like I also can't like expect like put unreasonable expectations on, I suppose. There, we are just about there. We'll be out of purple land here in a moment. Some of this gear I'm not going to be as worried about. I don't love where some of this stuff is, but I am also not 100% sure what it is. I suppose what has the most weight? The clavicle. Granted, like, the character's never gonna look like this, so at least I sure hope they don't look like this. So I'm basically just tearing them apart to figure out what these pieces should be attached to. Alright. Let's see. We'll do the kneecaps real quick. Also have these little bolts. I thought I was gonna like end up doing more tonight. Like I was gonna do some stuff post stream, but I'll be honest, it's gonna be bedtime for me. When we're done, this roadblock has a date with his pillow. I do want to get on Helldivers at some point and mess around with the dark fluid backpack I've been seeing everywhere. That hasn't been around for a minute. I grabbed too much. It's refreshing to see a creator doing their passion project while also showing respect and appreciation for the talent involved. Thank you. I appreciate that. It's that hell yeah to my comment about the date with my pillow. Because that is rapidly approaching. It's getting late. I got work again tomorrow. I don't know why, but stream always makes me... I do know why. It's because I'm yapping. When I just lock in at night, I could be up for a terrible amount of time. That's how episode 2 got finished. No, it selected the leg. Alright, I'm gonna call that good enough. And we're gonna just make sure that all that's attached there. Alright, so that should be... Do do I bother? I feel like I should because there are some rigid body parts to this. See if it can be done quickly. It's just so chunky. Yeah, I'm not gonna bother about that part. But now if we hit apply, and we save, and we reopen this guy. Oh shoot, he's had the bug. Let's just see if this fixes it real quick. Flood the whole thing and multiply it by the root. No! We gotta restart Unreal real fast. If we did do all that and it doesn't work. Arrowhead just needs to hire us already. Hey, my inbox is open. I wouldn't mind the idea. What the heck? What has happened? My boy. My boy, what did they do to you? They thwarted him. Alright, we're back to normal. Ooh. That almost had me spooked. That almost had me spooked for the life of me. We have a couple of parts that are a little rough, but honestly, there are times where like I look at something and I'm like, how does it look like in the animation? Is it causing a problem there? Because if not, then like, let's move on. You know, 90% of the time, it's like if the head is fine. Like as long as the head isn't dragging parts it's not supposed to. We're in a good ballpark. Because so many times, like, it's all the different parts acting together that actually, like, move any given piece of the character. This I might adjust just a little bit. Switch over to brush. Just relax. But once we do this, we should be good to throw a cape on this guy. And then check out how he looks. Oh, apply to asset. I forgot. Alright, so now this is like the only part that I really take out because I've done it in Unreal before. But it's kind of too much of a pain in my bootay. So I do it in Blender instead. And that is putting on the cape. So we'll save this. Create a new one. Actually, all that should be fine. We'll bring in the cape, delete the cape bones, scale it way down. Feels pretty good. We'll attach this whole thing to spine 4. And then we'll export it. Oh, wait. This one, armature mesh selected. X forward, Z up. Face. And export. And now. Import that. And now we just need to throw in the cape. Now what is this? Faux rent asunder. And we'll throw that in here. There we go. And then let's paint this. Oh. Silly me. There you go. Now he's got a cape. Plot, you're streaming so late that at this point I won't be able to host the after party. I'm sorry. I didn't think I was gonna be streaming this late. Honestly, I thought I was gonna be done a while ago. But all right, so now we'll do this. We'll go to the body and we'll change that sucker to the invisible instance. There we go. We got a character set up and ready to rock and roll. Whoop! He's missing a neck texture. Where the heck is his neck? Oh, I can't believe I've done this. There we go. Sick. Saw, dude. Cool. Well, now we have a character all set up and ready to go. Again, the main focus is going to be on the main Viper Commando. So, like, there are some, like, little, like, weird shading things. Like, you can see this here, which, like, I can go in and flip the normals. But, again, I'm going to see how it all looks in the animation and everything before I dive in too deep. Because, like, this is also a way that we can shave a lot of time, is just being like, is that good enough? Nobody's, you know, we're still doing this in our spare time, so there's a wee little bit of a pass. All right, I am gonna go get ready for bed. I thought I was gonna get more done tonight, but apparently not. But I hope you all had a wonderful time. Thank you for hanging out. It's a great stream. Good to be back, and I'm hoping to be back in my regular cadence. Thank you everybody for hanging out. Thank you for everybody who supported. If you want to become a member and continue to support the channel, feel free to do so. But hey, if you're just here to view, if you just want to watch the videos and the films when they come out, more power to you. You all have a good night. I'm too sleepy to even do an outro. I'm gonna go sleep on. I'm gonna sleep on my desk until you guys leave. Good night. All right, all y'all get out of here. I'm ending the stream now.